Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, today we're tackling something, well, pretty mind-bending. What if the next creative titan, the next Picasso, isn't actually human?
Yeah.
We're doing a deep dive into some fascinating sources, looking at the near future of art, where AI isn't just a helpful tool, but maybe a genuine aesthetic force.
And that premise, it immediately makes you question, well, everything we thought we knew about art. This integration of AI, it's really challenging those old definitions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Artistry, authorship, what's truly original.
Right.
We're past asking if AI can make images. Now it's about whether it can spark an entire art movement.
Exactly, and you can feel the tension there. On one side, you've got this incredible potential for AI to open up art creation to almost anyone, even if you've had zero formal training.
Democratization.
But then there's this huge wave of skepticism about whether it's authentic and what it means for, traditional art practices.
And look, this isn't just theory. Our sources are already playing out scenarios. They throw us forward to, September 2045?
Yeah, 2045.
And the art world isn't talking about some human genius. They're buzzing about algorithmic surrealism, a whole new style apparently born entirely from AI.
Algorithmic surrealism. I mean, that name alone just grabs you. But it makes you ask, what actually defines an artistic movement anyway?
Good question.
Historically, you think of Impressionism, Surrealism, Abstract Expressionism. They had shared styles, themes, a sort of philosophy that tapped into their specific cultural moment, right?
Precisely. And that's the core challenge here. Can AI really initiate something that cohesive, a shared philosophy that's more than just an echo of its training data? Can it reflect the cultural context of the machine age itself? Or is it just mimicking human stuff? That's what we need to unpack.
Okay, let's start with the tech that got us here. This dawn of algorithmic aesthetics. We have to talk about the tools that really kicked this debate into high gear. Things like DALL-E 3, Midjourney V6.
And Adobe Firefly, which the sources we looked at used quite a bit for their examples.
Yeah, and the key thing isn't just that they make pictures from text prompts. It's how good they are, how coherent.
Right, it's that semantic coherence.
Yeah.
They can grasp a complex idea from the prompt and run with it across different images, creating genuinely innovative interpretations, not just pixel soup or simple remixes. They're pushing visual boundaries.
And pushing boundaries is what new art movements do, isn't it?
Yeah.
The sources compared to the Impressionists like Monet or even composers like Debussy, how they broke from tradition to create something completely new.
It's a tempting parallel. But some critics in the sources push back a bit there. They'd argue Monet and Debussy had intention, a philosophy, a critique of what came before.
Oh, okay.
AI works on incredibly complex pattern matching. So the question isn't just, can it break rules? It's, can it create something genuinely unprecedented? Something divorced from human intention? Is it really a creator or just a super advanced rule breaker and remixer?
That leads us straight into a much stickier area, doesn't it? This whole idea of AI as muse or maybe master.
Yeah, let's break that down. First, the muse idea. Here, AI is purely collaborative. Think of a painter using AI to brainstorm compositions or explore color palettes they wouldn't normally think of.
Like a superpowered assistant.
Kind of, yeah. Or a non-judgmental sparring partner. It sparks human creativity, opens up new avenues.
Okay, that makes sense. But the master scenario.
Yeah.
That's where it gets really wild.
That's the idea that AI could potentially generate its own aesthetic principles, maybe even write its own kind of machine manifesto, develop a unique style, a philosophy that connects with people, but without a human guiding the core concept, just setting it loose.
Wow. And then who owns it? That's the massive legal and philosophical, attribution originality.
Exactly. If the AI is the main creative engine, is the owner, the programmer, the person who typed in the prompt, especially if it's a super detailed, complex prompt.
Or do we have to think about the AI itself having some kind of claim?
That question is completely up in the air, which makes looking at those speculative future movements even more important. They show how this mastery might actually look.
Okay, let's dive in. What's the first one?
The big one, speculated for 2045, generative surrealism. So human surrealism was about dreams, the subconscious, influenced by Freud.
Right. DALL-E, Magritte.
Generative surrealism, though, taps into the AI's latent space. You could call it the machine dream. It creates scenes that aren't just weird. They might have impossible physics, geometries, relationships that only make sense algorithmically.
Huh. Okay. What
Then there's data pointillism. Imagine artists using huge live data sets like global shipping patterns, stock market noise, maybe real-time social media feeling,
Wow.
and weaving that data into incredibly intricate images, like a digital pointillism, but made from pure information reflecting our networked world.
A visual representation of data overload. And the third.
Algorithmic abstraction. This one moves away from human emotion or senses entirely. It focuses on the beauty of pure math, the structures generated by complex algorithms. The art is the process, the code itself, an appreciation of machine logic.
Okay, but hold on. Algorithmic abstraction. Isn't appreciating machine logic still a human thing? Like, the moment a person looks at that mathematical output and says, wow, that's beautiful, hasn't human feeling just jumped back into the equation?
That's the fascinating tension. Its success isn't about the AI feeling anything. It's about whether it can force us, humans, to see beauty and structure differently through a non-human lens.
Ah, I see. It expands our definition of beauty, even if the feeling is ours.
Exactly. It pushes our intellectual boundaries.
So if these movements actually catch on, how do they spread? It's not like Impressionism with galleries and salons.
No, it's completely different. It's all digital, immediate, global. Social media, online galleries, virtual reality exhibitions, those become the main ways people experience it.
So the audience relationship changes too.
Totally. It fosters this idea of creativity as more fluid, collaborative, something that inherently involves machines.
Okay, now we need to address the elephant in the room, or maybe the algorithm in the room, the challenges and controversies. Let's start with the aesthetic stuff. People worry it's, well, soulless.
Yeah, that soullessness critique comes up a lot. Can something made by code really have the same emotional punch, the same depth as something made by human hands with human experience behind it?
And that ties right into the economic anxieties, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The sources really highlight this. What happens to human artists? If AI can churn out visually impressive art super fast, often looking like human work, what does that do to the livelihood and even the perceived value of traditional artists?
Yeah, the whole art market could be massively disrupted. If suddenly amazing art isn't scarce anymore, what happens to prices, galleries, the whole structure?
It's a huge question. And beyond economics, there are major ethical hurdles. Copyright is a big one. These AIs are trained on mountains of existing art, often without permission.
Right, the training data issue.
And bias in that data is critical. If the AI mainly learns from, say, Western art history, it could just reinforce existing biases, maybe even engage in a kind of automated cultural appropriation. These are really thorny ethical problems we have to navigate.
So with all this complexity, what happens to the human artist? Are they just out of a job? Prompt writers?
Not necessarily obsolete, but the role definitely shifts dramatically. Instead of focusing purely on execution, humans might become more like curators, conceptualizers, prompt engineers.
No.
Meaning the artist sets the vision, the big idea. They define the goals, the ethical lines, the conceptual heart of the work. The AI then handles the heavy lifting of execution, exploring variations maybe faster than any human could.
So human intuition meets machine logic.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
That fusion could lead to totally new kinds of storytelling, new ways to represent ideas that were just impossible before. It could really expand what we even think of as creativity.
It's less about the hand making the mark, more about the mind guiding the process.
Exactly, navigating this shared authorship space.
So wrapping this up, we really have to grapple with what this human-AI partnership means. The future isn't set in stone. It's like a canvas we're painting together, figuring out the rules as we go.
Right. And that leaves us and leaves you with final thought to chew on. If AI can kickstart genuine new art movements, like generative surrealism or data pointillism with their own coherent ideas, does the emotional depth, that soul we talked about, matter less than how intellectually interesting or visually striking it is? How are we going to tell the difference between art aiming to inspire using this new collaborative intelligence and art that's maybe just complex math made visible without that deeper human connection? That conversation, that distinction is going to shape the art world for a long, long time.